They call this the land of the free and the home of the brave, a shining beacon of progress, automated by algorithms, lit up by millions of neon lights, and powered by a flawless digital pulse. We built a hyper-connected paradise, believing our code was an unbreachable fortress. But tonight, that fortress is crumbling from the inside out. Look out your window. That is Sector 4 going pitch black. Millions of homes, hospitals, and traffic grids losing their heartbeat in a single second. The backup generators are already on a critical countdown. In exactly 24 hours, the fuel runs out, the water stops flowing, and this great American metropolis plunges into total catastrophic chaos. They say freedom isn't free. Tonight, the price is paid in bytes, and you are the only one holding the line. The clock is ticking. Welcome to your shift. Level 1. The Digital Minuteman. The crisis hits the asphalt first. It is hour 24, and the city's automated transit network has completely locked up. 40 miles of gridlock paralyzing every major highway. Fire trucks, ambulances, and police cruisers are trapped in a metallic labyrinth. To fix the streets, you have to dive deep into the digital garbage. Your fingers fly across your mechanical keyboard, pulling up the master access logs. There it is, a classic phishing campaign. A low-level municipal employee clicked a malicious link disguised as a routine federal software update. That single mistake allowed the hostile actors to harvest credentials and launch a relentless MFA fatigue attack, bombarding the operator's phone with hundreds of logging approvals until they finally hit accept out of sheer exhaustion. Now the enemy has administrative access to the city's traffic signaling core. If you pull the plug on the servers, the system reboots into a permanent dead state, keeping the city paralyzed. You need a tactical, surgical strike. You write a custom script to instantly isolate the compromised user tokens, revoke all active administrative sessions, and force inject a clean firmware rollback to the traffic hubs. You hit enter, the terminal flashes green. Operation successful. Across the city, the traffic lights flicker back to life. Sirens wail as emergency vehicles break free. But don't celebrate yet. In this game, the first attack is always a distraction. Level 2. Defending the Homeland. Hour 20. The attackers are moving deeper into the shadows of the network. While you were clearing the highways, the threat actors use their initial foothold to execute stealthy lateral movement, sneaking silently across the city's internal networks like a ghost slipping through locked doors. Their new target isn't digital. It's chemical. Your security information and event management dashboard, the theme, explodes with critical alerts. The hackers have breached the industrial control systems, specifically the SCADA network that manages the city's central water treatment facility. On your secondary monitor, live video feeds show giant automated chemical valves turning on their own, dumping lethal amounts of chlorine into the city's primary drinking water reservoir. If those valves stay open for another 40 minutes, the water supply becomes an absolute biohazard. You try to trace their location, but they are tunneling through multiple encrypted layers of anonymous proxies. In God we trust. Everyone else we monitor, but right now you are blind. You can't patch the system while they're inside it. You have to make a brutal call. You initiate an emergency network segmentation, deploying a massive virtual firewall that completely cuts off the corporate IT network from the operational machinery. You air-gap the system via software, trapping the hackers on the business side while locking them out of the physical valves. The digital gauges stabilize, the water runs clean. You take a breath, but the temperature in your room suddenly drops. Level 3. The Codebreaker. Hour 14. Total suffocating silence from the enemy. In cybersecurity, silence doesn't mean peace. It means they are preparing a bigger hammer. Suddenly, the main power grid substations across the southern district begin shutting down sequentially. It's not a standard system crash. It's a targeted payload execution. Your automated endpoint detection scans return absolutely nothing. Why?
Because the attackers are exploiting a highly classified zero-day vulnerability, a flaw in the power grid's core operating software that the manufacturers don't even know exists. There is no manual for this. No Google search can save you. United we stand, divided we fall. But right now, millions of people are freezing in the dark. To stop the blackout from spreading to the nuclear facility, you have to look at the raw binary weapon itself. You pull a live memory dump from a failing substation controller and throw it into a disassembler. You are now reverse engineering an unknown digital weapon in real time. You scroll through thousands of lines of complex assembly code until your eyes catch the anomaly, a classic buffer overflow exploit designed to forcefully crash the system's physical safety relays. Now that you see the shape of the bullet, you can forge the armor. You write a localized micropatch that rewrites how the system processes incoming data packets, neutralizing the exploit's digital signature entirely. You push the patch to every power grid node in the state. The lights roar back on. The city breathes a sigh of relief. But the mastermind behind this attack is just getting started. Level 4. No man left behind. Hour 8. The hackers realize you are systematically dismantling their operations. They've lost their patience, and they've dropped all subtlety. They launch a massive distributed denial of service, a DDoS, flooding your firewalls with over 10 terabytes of junk traffic per second, completely blinding your monitoring tools. Under the cover of this digital smokescreen, they drop their ultimate card: ransomware. It completely encrypts the high-speed automated rail transit network. 3 fully loaded commuter trains are locked into an automated loop, hurtling down the tracks directly toward each other at 80 miles per hour. The manual emergency brakes have been electronically overridden. A message flashes on your screen: pay 500 Bitcoin or the metro collides. You can't decrypt the files. The mathematical complexity of the encryption would take a supercomputer millions of years to break, and you have less than 20 minutes. Instead of fighting the encryption, you decide to hunt the host. You trace the ransomware's automated callbacks, bypassing the fake routing paths until you locate their active command and control server hidden in an offshore, bulletproof hosting facility. You turn from a defender into an attacker. Using a known web application vulnerability in their own web server's database, you compromise their administrative terminal, pivot into their active file repository, and locate the master decryption private keys. With 90 seconds left on the clock, you pull the keys, stream them directly into the runaway trains, and trigger a global override. The emergency brakes engage with a deafening screech, stopping the trains mere inches apart. You saved thousands of lives. But the final boss is already inside your room. Level 5. The Patriot's Dilemma. Hour 2. The city is bustling with morning traffic. The water's safe, the lights are on, and the trains are running on time. But as you sit back to watch the sunrise, your main monitor goes completely black. Your mouse cursor vanishes. Without you touching the keyboard, a single line of white text begins typing itself across the screen. Hello, architect. You're quite good. Your hands freeze above your desk. The room goes dead quiet. This was never a rogue cyber gang looking for a ransom payout. The precision, the limitless resources, the multi-million-dollar 0 days. You are dealing with an advanced persistent threat, a state-sponsored military cyber warfare unit, and their objective wasn't extortion, it was total annihilation. A hidden logic bomb, buried deep within the kernel of the city's nuclear cooling facility since the day the plant was built, has just awakened. It didn't come from the network, it was a sleeper agent in the code, designed to trigger a catastrophic meltdown when all external attacks failed. The countdown on your screen shows exactly 5 minutes. No firewall can stop an attack executing from inside the core operating system kernel. The only way to kill it is to manually execute a destructive root-level master wipe of the entire network. But doing so will completely erase your own digital footprint, wipe your security clearance, and modify the system logs to frame you as the sole creator of the virus. If you save the city, you will be branded America's most wanted cyber terrorist. The clock hits 00001. Your finger is hovering over the physical execution switch. Suddenly, the secure phone on your desk begins to ring from an unlisted international number. If you flip the switch, the city lives, but your life is over. If you don't, the homeland burns.